Hey everyone, Oak Norton with Scripture Notes here, and I just wanted to share with you something called Boolean searches. This is the most powerful way to search and study the Scriptures. And if you've never tried it, you should. There's not a lot of other programs that let you do this with the Scriptures. So let's say you're reading along here in Isaiah chapter 40, and you come to verse 31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Well, that first phrase, they that wait upon the Lord. I know there's other verses that use that type of language. So let's say I want to study that a little bit more and understand what that means at a deeper level. There's a number of things you can do in Scripture Notes. We're not going to demonstrate all of them, but right here, this link button will let you look up different translations of that verse, 29 Bible translations, Hebrew or Greek meanings for that verse, what's been said in the LDS Citation Index and the Joseph Smith translation as well. So that's a few resources you have. But we want to search for wait and Lord. So if I was doing a search for wait and Lord verses, what that means is the system, instead of doing a search for a single word, it's going to actually search for all the verses that have the word wait in it. And then it's going to take that and filter down and make sure it also has the word Lord in that verse somewhere. So I do that search and I get 31 results. And I think, okay, well, what about if it's wait and God? Just a different use of the word. Well, that search has 17 results. So if I said I want to do one search that combines both of these because there's maybe some overlap, because those two together are 48 verses. So if I say I'm going to do a search for wait and then I put God or Lord in parentheses, what that means is find all the verses that have the word wait and then find all of the verses that have either the word God or Lord in them. That's what the parentheses are for there. If I took out those parentheses, just like in algebra back then, if you remember like how parentheses work, this would say find all of the verses that have the word wait and God, and then do that first, and then or Lord. So we'd wind up with way more verses. It would have the word Lord in it, but not the word wait. So we use those parentheses to say this is like a separate concept. It's like A and B, and in this case, B is God or Lord. So we want to use the power of math, going back to the algebra days, to kind of understand how that logical expressions work and put it to use for us here. Now, that's 40 verses, but I might say, okay, wait. What about other forms of the word wait? Lord and God don't have plural English words, and so, but the word wait has different forms. There's wait, waited, waiting. So what if there's a verse that says waiting upon the Lord? I want to capture all of those. So I put an asterisk in there, which is a wild card. It says find all those variations. Now, why are we going to go to the work of doing this? Well, once you get your set of results narrowed down, you can create what's called a collection note. And so here's just a collection note. It's these same verses right here down below, and you've got a master note up here that you can type in, and you can expand this and see your verse notes and stuff here as well. But the reason that we do Boolean searches is it combines the verses into a single study set. And it's got powerful filtration processes, and it's way easier to create a study collection note from. So collection notes are just a collection of verses that you're now going to study. And I'll give you one more example of this. A while back, I did a search for the word if in the Scriptures. And as you can imagine, there are a lot of ifs, about 6,000 of them, I believe. And so that particular word, if, would take forever to study. But I was trying to do something there. I was trying to study the logic of the Scriptures. And so I put and then. And that obviously narrows it way down. And then I put and else here, and there's only 5 verses that have the words if, then, and else in them. And so you can see in the scriptures, it's an amazing project if you want to do this sometime. And you can filter also in the search pane for just like a given book of scripture. But if, then, else is a logical statement. If this, then this, or else do this. And the Lord uses this all the time in giving us conditional blessings. He says, if you do this, then this is the result that's going to come from it. So that's a really fun project you can do sometime. So one more thing I want to show here. And by the way, you can also, besides and or, you can also use the word not. So and or not. So this word, but not this word in that verse. That also works. So here's another great example. You are probably used to searching on, regular search engines with quote marks sometimes to try and find an exact match of a phrase. Well, with the search engine in Scripture Notes, you can do a phrase like how oft in quote marks, so it's exact, but you can also put a wildcard inside the quotes. And what that does is it finds how often, I can't think of another word for it that would start oft, but just in this example, it finds 3 more verses. So think about when you're doing a search, how to maximize the search parameter, which sometimes means taking letters off of a word. Like if you've got a long word and you want to find variations of it, like prepared, you would take, PREP maybe and put a wildcard after it, and that would help you to find more results. Okay, here's just one more example and why this is so exciting and powerful in Scripture Notes. In this example, we've got freedom or liberty inside the parentheses and Lord there at the end. And so what that's doing is it's finding all the verses that have freedom and Lord or liberty and Lord. And there's 21 of those. And so now you can either study your scriptures right here from this view, which has all of the scriptures and your notes right there. I do that sometimes. It's easier just to scan down and go through those search results. Or I could create a collection note from those verses if I want to keep the organization together. You can see, like in this note screen, I've got several collection notes that particular verse is in. So that's how you can jump back into those really easy from any verse that you create a collection with. So that's just a quick overview of Boolean search terms and how powerful they are. I hope you'll try that out in Scripture Notes. It is absolutely a powerful way to study the Scriptures. You can use a thesaurus sometimes when you see a word and you're not sure what other words exist for it. You can do an or search, this word or this synonym for it, and you put that in your search results and you get all those results simultaneously in one list where you can study them. So I hope that's helpful. Please like and share this video and subscribe to our channel. I'd appreciate that, and we'll be sure to create some more of these. Thanks.